Hi, my name is Sarah Zimmerman, and this is my demonstrative speech for oral communications. I've had the opportunity to see a black hole. Not only have I seen a black hole in real life, I get the opportunity to see a black hole several times a week. Some cases, several times a day. That's because we've affectionately nicknamed my pantry, that's really a cupboard, as the black hole. That's because things sometimes go in there and they never come out. That's why I thought I'd give you this demonstrative speech on how to organize a pantry or a cupboard. We're all busy. We all go to school. Some of us work part or full time, take care of our families, take care of ourselves, and try to maintain a healthy social life. That's why it's important to us to use our time and our energy efficiently and productively. One way that we can do this is through home organization. West Virginia University states that 40% of all housework involves clutter, and 80% of that clutter is a lack of organization. My mom has an enormous pantry. Now, I could still go to her house right now, and within 2 seconds, I could point out to you where her green beans are, or where anything else in that pantry may be. That's because my mom found an organizational pattern for her pantry that works, and she stuck to it throughout the years. Everything has its place, and everything in its place is something that she's always said to me throughout my life. In order to organize a cupboard or a pantry, you're going to first brainstorm, then you're going to take everything out, and then we're going to put everything back in using that organizational pattern. That first step, brainstorming, we're going to think about what's important to us, what we use most often, and how to best organize our cabinet. The second step, taking things out, we're really going to just remove them from the cabinet, and we're going to place them on a countertop or another flat surface that we can group items together in the way that best suits us. Finally, we're going to put everything back in, using that same organizational pattern that we brainstormed earlier. To begin, we're going to brainstorm by thinking about our goals for our organization of our cabinet. Now, what's important to you? Do you want to be able to reach some things readily? Do you want to be able to see exactly where things are? These are both things you're going to think about when you're brainstorming how to organize your cabinet. For me, I like to have items grouped together. Right now, the black hole is just a mess of everything. I would like to have all the boxes put together in one area. I'd like the bags somewhere else and the cans in another place. That way, if I'm making something, maybe a chili, and I look in there, I can go, oh look, there's all my different types of tomatoes. And I can pull a can out, and then I can use it. It's right in my chili. I don't have to spend 5 minutes digging around in the black hole, and I'm ready to go. I'm saving myself time, and I'm saving energy. In this step, you're also going to decide what you can eliminate from that cabinet. Some things don't belong where they are. They need to be moved to another cabinet or another place within the home. These are things that you want to be thinking about as you're brainstorming. Then we're going to move on to the next step. Our next step is going to be to take everything out of that cabinet. Now, when taking things out of the cabinet, you want to pull them out and place them in the groupings that you had brainstormed earlier. So for me, like I said, I like to think in terms of containers. I want all my boxes together. I want all my cans together as well. So as I'm pulling things out, I'm going to group them on my flat surface in the way that I want them organized. I'm going to continue doing this and put them in my groupings and pause the video. When I come back, everything will be out of the cabinet and we can discuss our next step. Now that everything's out of the cabinet, I want to point out a couple things. I mentioned eliminating objects earlier. Well, I found a couple taco seasoning packets in there. I don't need them in here. I have an entire spice cabinet for things like that. So that's something to keep in mind as you're taking things out. You're going to notice more and more things if you have anything like my black hole in your own house. Now, we're going to move on to our next step, which will be putting things back into the cabinet. When we go to put things back into the cabinet, we're going to keep in mind the things that we found most and least important, and the things that we use least and most often. So, to begin, I'm going to put on my top shelf in the very back, I'm going to put the things that I use least often and that are least important to me. In my case, it'll be these bags of flour that I have. I have a flour canister on my countertop, so I only take these out every couple months to refill it as needed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these all the way on the top and in the back of the cabinet. This frees up more space up front for things that need to be more visible and readily available to me. You'll also notice that I grouped all of my objects on the counter according to the type of container they are. So I can take all of my boxes and place them where they're visible to me and all together. So I know if I'm looking for a thing of rice, it's going to be with all my other boxes because rice comes in a box. And I'm going to continue doing that as I'm placing objects back into the cabinet. Same goes for my cans and my bagged items. Now I'm going to keep doing that, and if you want to organize your cabinets, you can do it at the same time as me. But I'm going to pause the video for a moment so that I can get everything back in and show you how to continue. Okay, now I've pulled you in a little bit closer so that you can see the finished product. I have my cabinet organized according to container type. Up top, I have all the bags, everything that's in a bagged container. And then I have boxes, cans, and jars. Everything is in a system that I know where to look for it. If I'm reaching into my cabinet to grab some vegetables or maybe another canned corn or green bean, I know that they're all going to be in this row of cans. It's all a matter of planning and figuring out what it is that will best serve your needs. During the course of this presentation, we've learned how to organize a pantry to the best of your abilities. First, we learned that you need to brainstorm. You need to put all your thoughts together and decide what it is that will best suit you and your needs. Second, we learned how to pull things out and get everything out of the cabinet so that you can have a fresh palette to work with. Finally, we learned how it is that you put everything back in. Using that brainstorming plan that you learned earlier in the lesson, we got everything back into our cabinet, and now I have a lot more space to add more objects to my pantry as I see needed. Doing all of this on the front end will save you a lot of time down the line. It'll also save you a lot of headaches. If you're halfway through making a recipe and you discover you don't have that ingredient that you thought you did, this will solve that. You will have the ability to get all the way through something. You'll have an idea of how to plan for things, and you'll be more efficient in your time. That's it for the instruction presentation today. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.